The movie opens with a couple, Ian and Sam, on their way for a serene and quiet romantic getaway. They're planning on camping to celebrate the new year. Now, camping and forests have never been a good combination, and we will soon find proof of that. On their way, they stop at a pub and Sam goes to get them some drinks while Ian waits at the parking lot, analyzing their route. The dog, Banjo, which is in the car beside them, keeps barking until his owner rebukes him to stop. We later find out his name is German, who's a local of the place. Ian asks him about the isolated Gungali Falls, a camping site, and in turn, he asks him questions about their plans to camp. Ian has clearly never seen a horror movie, so he decides to give this stranger information that he probably shouldn't have. When Sam returns with the drinks, the couple gets back on the road, where Ian narrates a story about his dad's love for camping. Sam replies that the last time she had gone camping, a guy had set his tent on fire, which led to third-degree burns on his body. They are so immersed in the conversation that Ian misses the turnoff, causing him to come to an abrupt stop. When they reach their destination, they see a car already parked there. There's also another tent which seemed abandoned, but they don't pay much attention to it. Well, an abandoned tent in an isolated forest might have been a sign to just leave, you know? They set up the tent together, and suddenly Sam suggests marriage to her boyfriend. Making a decision right there, she proceeds to call her sister to give the good news. But alas, the place has no cell phone reception. Meanwhile, we follow German to his house. He lives with another guy called Chuck, and they both seem like bad news. They notice a woman with a child and contemplate doing something immoral and illegal right away. Back at the camping site, Ian finds a small hat with the name Ollie engraved on it. The tent remains abandoned, causing Sam to worry. Concurrently, German and Chuck are seen at a pub where Chuck is hitting on two women. Later in the washroom, they come across a constable with whom they seem to share cordial relations. When he leaves, German asks Chuck to show him the photos on his phone. He throws away the phone and threatens him to not keep photos of his hunting rendezvous. Now, we follow the couple at the campsite. Sam is concerned about the abandoned tent and expresses her worry. They can't do much about the tent anyway, so they focus on spending some time with themselves. When Sam goes to pee, she hears something in the woods and lets out a scream. Ian immediately gets to her, but they find nothing terrifying. Believing that there's nothing to worry about, they go to bed after counting down for the new year. At night, Ian finds a pig messing with their food stocks and panics to drive it away. In the morning, Sam finally gives in to her curiosity and goes to see the inside of the abandoned tent. At the sight of the clutter, she calls out to Ian, who states that they need to call a ranger. The signs aren't good. Unfortunately, his car has a flat tire. While he struggles with it, Sam goes to get her belongings from the tent. She doesn't notice the little child that's following her, but thankfully, when she goes back to get Ian some water, she finds the kid again. He's injured and fatigued. She calls out to her boyfriend, who's a doctor, and he is quick to action. He gets the child to their car. He tries the other abandoned car, but doesn't find the keys. Just then, Chuck arrives after hearing about the couple from German. He claims to be a hunter and offers to help the couple find the child's parents. Together, Chuck and Ian go to find the parents while Sam waits in the car. To no one's surprise, Chuck is carrying a gun. It is evident that the child that Sam has discovered is of the people from the other tent. We follow the story of the others alongside Ian and Sam. The people in the tent are a family of four: a husband, a wife, and their two children, Em and Ollie. They seem like a beautiful family, having a moment of bliss away from the crowd of people. One night, the father tells them a story about the massacre of the local chorus in the fall. They were driven off the edge at gunpoint. According to him, they were killed by settlers who wanted them out of their farm. After a night of horrifying stories, the family settles in for the night. They are later woken up by Em, who's having a nightmare. Her parents calm her down. The next morning, the family except Em is going for a hike. Em stays behind, still visibly distressed about the story. Before they leave, she clicks a beautiful picture of them. Turns out, the phone we had seen earlier had been Em's phone. Now that's not good news. Now alone, Em hears some rustling sounds by the campsite. Frightened, she decides to get inside her car and wait for her parents. While waiting, she falls asleep. Subsequently, German and Chuck arrive in their van. Chuck disgustingly pees on the car. He notices Em sleeping peacefully in the car and abruptly wants to get her. German eggs him on and goes to check if they're really alone. Em is now awake, and the sight of Chuck scares the living daylights out of her. He forces her to get out of the car, but she doesn't listen to him. He mockingly barks at her to scare her even more. She tearfully begins to honk her car horn, alerting her parents. This act not only alerts her parents, but also German, who comes back and threatens her with a gun. If she doesn't come out of the car, he will blow her brains out. With no other choice, she gets out of the car. She has wet her pants in fear. Her parents rush back. Her father shows up at the spot of the crime, but he's attacked by them as well. M's mother keeps the child in the tent and runs to help her family. She tackles Chuck, asking M to run away, but it's of no use. German fires his gun and threatens to shoot her father if she were to leave. The whole family is gagged with tapes and taken deep within the forest. M and her mother are stripped of their clothes and covered in blood. It's obvious what had transpired. The torture doesn't end there. They practice their shooting with the 3 victims as their targets. The mother is saved when German hits the beer can over her head. Also, they probably didn't realize she was alive as German had rendered her unconscious. They proceed to shoot the father and M, leaving their bodies there. Through M's phone, they discover that they have another child and go to the tent, trashing it to search for him. Fortunately, the tent is empty. That's the child that the couple has later come across. Coming back to the other couple, Ian seems to be extremely trustful of Chuck. Even when he sees the bodies of M and her father, he cannot understand the events. While Ian is horrified at the sight, Chuck is losing his mind over the missing mother. Sadly, they find her after searching a little, and as Ian just begins to treat her, Chuck shoots her. Right then, Ian realizes that he has walked himself into a trap. Now, Chuck doesn't kill him right away as he wants Ian to see him defile his girlfriend in front of him. As this sadistic jackass still points the gun at him, Ian gets up and pushes him. This ensues a chase between the two. On the other side, German has arrived after reading a note from Chuck that says, "Gone hunting." He notices Sam and immediately threatens her with his gun. He breaks her car's window and asks her to come out, but Sam is quick to her feet, injuring him with a knife. As he bleeds out, she grabs little Ollie and runs away. This leads to a chase between German and Sam. As the couple is individually running away from the maniacal duo, the dog also starts following them. Ian somehow manages to hide from Chuck when the crazy man suddenly shoots someone, thinking that it's Ian. Thankfully, it's German. Well, deserved. But the misfortunes of the couple don't stop when Ollie starts crying. This gives away Sam's hiding spot. Chuck grabs the baby and throws him away. Ian comes out of his hiding spot momentarily to grab the spare gun, but is unsuccessful. He goes back to his spot, frozen in fear. Then, German asks Chuck to finish him off as he cannot bear the pain. A tearful Chuck shoots him. He then threatens Sam to follow him to the same place where he had initially taken Ian and the family. He calls out for Ian and asks him to meet him there. At the place, he forces her to scream to make Ian hear, but she refuses to do as she's told. Ian, on the other hand, notices that Ollie can't be found anymore. He doesn't try to find him, but instead gets into German's car to find the police. Upon hearing the car drive away, Chuck realizes that he's not coming back. He calls him a chicken, but Sam defends him by saying that he has actually saved the baby. "Oh, I have news for you, Sam. In reality, the baby has wandered away yet again and is now guarded by the loyal dog." Now, Chuck is driving to find Ian, who has managed to inform the police. Night befalls. Sam takes advantage of the darkness around her to mess with Chuck, incessantly slapping him, which makes him lose control and slam the car against a tree. When Sam wakes up, she finds herself alone in the car. From a distance, she sees the lights of the siren. Feeling happy that she can be finally rescued, she turns on the lights of her car to indicate that she's still alive. 2 police carefully approach the car, but only find Sam. Just then, they are viciously shot by Chuck. He has been hiding to find the right chance. With no help yet again, the couple seems to have no chance to escape the monster. Sam hides somewhere whereas Chuck threatens to shoot her boyfriend if she doesn't show herself on the count of 10. With no other option, she comes out. He forces her to drive him out of the forest. The night seems to be long and the couple has no respite. On top of that, Sam realizes that Ian, in reality, has not saved Ollie, which breaks her even more. Guess the wedding will be called off now. In relentless pain and uncontrollable anger, Sam takes the final step. She picks up tremendous speed and forcefully swerves the car, causing it to topple over. A bloodied Chuck gets out of the car, but Sam quickly attacks him. She doesn't let him get to the gun. She grabs a big rock and repeatedly hits him with it, completely bludgeoning his face. The mayhem comes to a cease. Sam later wakes up in a hospital, sustaining countless injuries. Slowly, she goes to find her boyfriend who is not in a better state than her. They share a look of relief. What was supposed to be a romantic getaway had turned into the worst nightmare. The movie ends there. The fate of Ollie and the dog remains unknown.